All right. Hey, everyone. Tonight's homework is on division of decimals by whole numbers. And so on number 1, you were instructed to draw that. And so we did that today. So I have 4 24/100 divided by 4. This is going to be the place value division, or it's the long division, or the standard algorithm. But we're going to do it with a picture. So how many whole numbers do I have? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Oops, can you see that? All right, I'll just bring it up like this. So I have 4 whole numbers. How many tenths do I have? 2. So I'm going to represent that with 2 rods. 1, 2. And then how many hundredths? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many groups do I have? Because remember, this is going to be my what? Divisor. Very good. And this is called my dividend. And it's called the dividend because it's the number we're breaking apart or dividing it up. So I have 4 groups. So it's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. Okay, now I'm needing to find out how many will go in each group. So I'm going to take this one, that's 1, bring this one here, that's 2, that's 3, oh look at that, that's 4. So all 4 of those will fit. Let me see if I can reduce that, because it's a little bit. Let me zoom out a bit. There we go. Is that a little bit better? All right. Now, what could I do here? I only have 2. Well, it's not going to work there. So I need to cash that in, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm cashing in 1 of the tenths for 10 hundredths. And I'm going to cash that one in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So how many hundredths do I have all together? So this is 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 hundredths. So I have 4, so how many are going to go, will be in each group? So it's 24 divided by 4, it gives me what? Absolutely right, that's 6. So if you couldn't figure that out, again, I will place 1/100 in each group so that you can visually see that. In case you didn't see the answer, because we have 24 divided by 4, that would be 6. But again, I want to do 1 at a time in case you were still having problems on seeing how we are dividing up this number in each group. Okay, so keep going. Now I have 4, and I can keep going. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 groups of 4. That's 20. And here's one more. That's 21. That's 6 groups, 6 groups, 6 groups. Okay, so now I have 6 groups of 24. 6 groups of 4. So I have 4 groups of 6. Sorry about that, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, and in each group there are 6 hundredths, and that will give me 4 times 6 hundredths is 24 hundredths. And so my answer then will be what? 1 and how many hundredths? Are there any tenths? No. So this will be 1 and 6 hundredths. So the answer, my quotient, is 1 and 600. Okay? All right, there we go. That was the answer to number 1. Let's go over to number 2. You're going to be doing place value division, or the long division standard algorithm. And so let's come over here. So this answer here is going to be 1 and 600. All right, let's write this problem down. I'm going to have 5 goes into 3 and 2500ths. And I wrote that down on my paper over here. I keep seeing that man now that it's been brought up. Okay, so I moved my decimal right up to the front. And I'm going to do 5 times 1. One group of 5 is 5. 5 times 2, that's 10. 5 times 3, that's 15. 5 times 4, that's 20. 5 times 5, that's 25. 5 times 6, that's 30. 5 times 7 is what? 35. All right, so how many groups of 5 can go into 3? None. So I can continue putting zeros down, or I can just move straight across and ask myself how many groups of 5 go into 32. Or you can just keep subtracting. So 0 times 5 equals 0. I subtract that out. That's 3. I'm going to bring down my 2. Okay, I have 32. How many groups of 5 can go into 32 without going over? And look at this one. The answer is 6. Because 6 times 5 equals 30. I subtract that out, bring down my 2. So that's 2. Now I'm going to bring down my 5. 5 goes into 25. 5 times 5 equals 25. Subtract it out, and that's 0. So the answer is 6,500. Okay, remember we talked about checking our work? So I have 6,500 times 5. How many times I'm going to move my decimal? So I'm going to move 2 left. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 plus 2 is 32. I have tenths, hundredths. I'm going up to the hundredths, so it's moving it over 1, 2. So I have tenths, hundredths, and so there we go. Did I end up getting 3 and 2500ths? Yes, I did, so my answer is correct. So I'm going to move this right over here. And my answer is 6,500ths. Let's move over to number 4. Again, we're going to use the place value strategy, which is the same as long division or standard algorithm. Whichever way you want to say it, it's still, we're going by place value. Put my multiplication sign there. 3 times, well, I'll go this way. 3 times 1 equals 3. 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times 4 equals 12. 3 times 5 equals 15. Okay, and I think that's where I just need to stop. I won't need to go anymore. So get in the habit of doing that if you're still struggling with your multiplications, so that at least you have your track on this side and you'll know how to utilize it over here. Okay, I'm going to move my decimal up and then forget this one, and I'm done. Can 3 go into 1? Because this is why we call it the place value. We're going through the first place value. Can 3 go into 1? 0 times 3 equals 0. I subtract out, and that's 1. Bring down my 13. How many groups of 3 can go into 13 without going over? That's right, it's 4. So I know that 3 times 4 equals 12. So I have 12 here. Subtracting it out, it gives me 1. Bring down my 5. 3 can go into 15 how many times? 5 times. So 5 times 3 equals 15. Subtract that out, and it's 0. So my answer is 4,500. So I'm going to write that right over here. All right, let's move over to number 6. Remember, we were talking about practice. So riding a bike, you just can't get on it one day for the one day and then that's it. You got to go home and keep practicing if you always want to be better. So you have to do the same thing with your math strategies. If you practice more, the faster you get and the more it makes sense. I don't need to put my dollar sign there because I know I'm talking about money. Going to multiply and just put my dollar sign there. Bring up my decimal. Okay, so here I'm going to have one group of 9 equals 9. 2 groups of 9 equals 18. 3 groups of 9 equals 27. 4 groups of 9 equals 36. And I'm going to stop there because doesn't look like I can move up anymore. I'll need anything else. So 9, can it go into the first place value? Is it 2? The answer is no. So it's 0. 0 times 9 equals 0. Subtract that out. That's 2. Bring down my 5. How many groups of 5 can go into 25 without going over? Well, look at this. It's going to be 2 groups of 9 because 2 times 9 equals 18. Subtract that out. 15 minus 8. And what is that? 7. I'm going to bring down my 1. Oops, I can keep going. I thought I was done. So 4 times 5 groups of 9 equals 45. 6 groups of 9 equals 54. 7 groups of 9 equals 63. 8 groups of 9 equals 72. Uh-oh. So I can't do 8. So it can only be 7. 7 times 9 equals 63. So I'm going to subtract that out. So 11 minus 3 equals, so that's 8. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, I'm going to bring down the next one, and so it's 81. Well, 9 times 9 equals 81. So I have 9 groups of 9 equals 81, and I subtract that out, and it's 0. So my answer is what? There you go, 2 79/100. Very good. So do you see how once you start using this strategy, doing out your multiplications, how much easier it is to go ahead and reference or build on it rather than having to start from scratch once you get there. So this is 2 79/100. Last one on this one is number 8. So 3 goes into 28 8/10. This is number 8. And what did I say it was? 3. 28 8/10. Alright, so it's 1 group of 3 equals 3. 2 groups of 3 equals 6. 3 groups of 3 equals 9. 4 groups of 3 equals 12. 5 groups of 3 equals 15. 6 groups of 3 equals 18. 7 groups of 3 equals 21. Let me move this up here just a bit. 8 groups of 3 equals 24. 9 groups of 3 equals 27. Alright, so I did my multiplication up to 9s. I think that's as much as I need. So 3 cannot go into 2 because I have to have it